Hello, hello. My name is Shavarielle. Welcome. It's been a while since I did a video, but I'm here now. So I just wanted to get on here and share with you a few of the after effects of child adoption. So if you have adopted out your child, you're going to feel a lot and you're going to go through a lot. So for those of you who do not know, I have my first child is adopted by another family. And if I, not to say if I could go back and do it all over again, of course we know what's done is done. But lessons learned from that would be to, if I could fix my mistakes, wasn't that the same thing as going back? It is. Making it complicated. But anyway, I would exhaust every single resource I had to keep my child. And then I would just use what I had to be a better mom. So, whereas I didn't necessarily have a full and complete model of what it is to be a good mom, I had what I had, and which was good, and then you had a lot of stuff in between that wasn't good. But I would have used that to say, okay, how would I improve in this area, or research what I can do to become a better mom, so that I could have my child. And to have that time to really think about what it means to not grow up with your child, to not raise your child. And then I wouldn't have been so stuck on being with my child's father back then, because in my opinion, when it was said and done, I feel like I chose my child's father over my child in a way. Again, my story is complex, so there are a lot of layers to that. But a part of me feels like I should have been more accountable. And I'm not blaming him. We both share the blame because it's our child that's adopted out. But I take accountability on my end to say that I could have done more to keep my child. It's always more that a person could do to do the best they can for their child. I could have done better with my resources, and like I said, being a better mom and just researching of what it meant to be a good mom and working with what I had to say, okay, I was taught this, but here I wasn't taught anything. So let me see what it is I can do to become a better mom. So let me see, something that's just simple, balancing work and being a mom. So what I mean by that is just to say, make sure you have a babysitter, a reliable babysitter when you do have to work, or find the resources to get your child into early childhood education, which I believe every state has a program for that they pay a part of your child's tuition, even if they're a year and older. They pay a part of it, and then the rest you pay out of pocket, something like that. So I believe with me growing up, when I was little, my family watched me. So my mom didn't have any issues with anybody watching me, because I would always be at my family members' houses, and so my relatives or a cousin's house or somewhere. So my mom didn't necessarily have to worry about childcare for me. Now, if she did when I was like newborn, then that's something I don't know about. But something like that is huge because as a new mom, you're not thinking this through. You're just thinking, okay, I just want to have sex to have the baby, call out his name while we're having sex, to call out his name while we're having the baby, and then boom, you're pregnant, right? But then you don't understand what comes after that. Your whole lives are changed. Your life, his life, and both sides of the families. And so that's a huge thing when having a baby. Back then, they didn't allow women time off like that. You had to really like submit that paperwork, and maybe you may get 3 months, and then after that you have to go right back to work. Well, a lot of daycares and child cares, if the baby is not like 6 weeks, they don't watch your child. They're not able to, because it's a newborn, so okay, the child is 6 weeks. Okay, that's a good month and 2 weeks. But say you have to go back to work 3 months later, okay. But then it's, like I said, it's a lot of daycares that they have age limitations. So it's just like, well, how are you now going to do this? You work a part-time job, so it's not like you going in from like 8 to 5 or 8 to 4. No, they give you hours like 10 to 2 or 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. or 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. or 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. And with hours like that of an unstable job, a part-time job, you're not able to just take that child in at any time of the day in a daycare. Why? Because they have everybody on a schedule. And I had to learn this the hard way. But my schedule was what it was. And so that's just like you taking a young child like that, a baby. Say your shift doesn't start until 12. It's all 12 p.m. and your job is all the way across town. Well, nap time is maybe like 11:30 a.m. or maybe like 12 noon. So that means you literally have to get there an hour ahead of time, maybe an hour and a half, so like 10:30, 11 at the latest, so that your child can have a little bit of playtime and then start to settle down for that nap time. Because it's not going to look good, you taking your child in the daycare, so you got to be to work at 12, you walk in there like 11:30, 11:45, and they just like, your child is up, they want to play, and they're just like, well, we're getting everybody ready for nap time, so can you bring them in earlier? And it's just like, well, no, because if I bring them in earlier, I'm going to be sitting somewhere longer, and I don't necessarily want to do that, but now that I think about it, it's a sacrifice that you have to make. So if you have to go in maybe to work 2.5 hours early, take into consideration the time it takes to get to the daycare, sign in, get your child, way before nap time, and then you go sit in a car somewhere. It can work out like that if you wanted to. But yeah, something like that, and so my effects that I'm moving through is that the family gets to do what they want within reason, because yes, they legally have him, but I'll always be my child's mother. And I don't take no for an answer. That's my flesh and blood, okay? I gave birth to him. And so there is nothing nobody can tell me to give up that birthright. Now, in the court, they say you give up your birthright, but by law, yes. But by nature, you don't. I'm still his mother, his birth mother. And so I wanted to, a little short story. I wanted to send my child a gift for his birthday, and I just asked, was it okay? How's he doing? And so I got told no again. So I have been asking to send him gifts, and some people would say, well, they don't want him to cling on to the gifts that you give. But the thing about that is, he and I have had a Zoom meeting. I write him letters. We're already connected. So if you think that's going to do further damage, he's already faced that. Me not being with him is the damage to my child. And this is what every parent needs to understand before you just go and just think that you want to adopt out your child. Well, let's dive into that. Let's take a deeper look, because you're going to go through some things you hadn't even thought about. And so when I got told no, I couldn't send him a gift, that my love is all he needs. That's what she told me. She proceeded to tell me that my child is stealing lunches from school, and some things happen there. And I said, stealing? This is a strong term to use for a child. He's not 15. He's not a teenager. This is still a young child. Okay? And I've heard this language from the adoptive mom before, when he was 2. And she was using that language. Oh, he's stolen. And it's just like, first of all, recognize that I'm still his mother. Yes, you have him. But like I said, my situation was complex. Okay, this was not a black and white situation. This was complex in its entirety. So whereas people might say, well, you gave him up, not necessarily, because that was not what we went to do. And it turned on me for the worse, and I've had to deal with that since it's happened. So until I give that full story in a book or an interview, feel how you feel. You're going to feel how you feel anyway. I'm doing this to help other people out, to really understand the gravity of what this means of adoption. And do I recommend it? No. Now, if you just all toe up and you're just not a good person, well, consider your options. That's the most I can tell you. But if you're a parent and you're on the fence, adoption may not be for you, because that's telling me that you're able to take care of your child, you just don't know how. And you're needing to find the reason why you need to take care of your child, and how you can take care of your child, and make a to-do list of goals to secure your stability to take care of your child. And so going back to the story, she was telling me that, and I said, stealing, that's a strong word. I've heard that language before when he was a lot younger. And I said, that's not good to hear. And she went on. She was just like, yeah, it's just so unfortunate that he would steal property that's not his. And I'm like, oh man, I don't curse in public, but I had a lot to say in my mind when I was just reading what she sent to me. Because acknowledge that I'm his mom. I'm his mom. Yes, you have him. You paid for him. You paid to have him. But I am his mother. So when you talk to me with respect, like I talk to you with respect. Talk to me with respect, because you're talking about my flesh and blood. I gave birth. You didn't. You didn't give birth to this child whom you are saying is stealing somebody else's property. He's not 26. He's not 35. He's not 15. He's not 13. And understand what you say about my child, he's going to know you're saying that. So instead of empathizing with the situation and where he is and what he's been through to cause him to do certain things, and I don't go by what nobody else is telling me anyway. Number one, because I don't know the full story. It's always three sides to a story. The person, the second person, and the truth. I'm just not going to go off of somebody else's word. And two, you don't know what he's been through. You have a snippet. You don't know what's going through his mind, his feelings, his heart on a daily basis. So why not show some more empathy to what this child has been through? My child has been through. So, and I was just like, you know, he is going to be fine. He's going to be fine. Now, that's not to neglect the actions. Not at all. Because with any bad decision, there are consequences. But he's going to be fine. I'm speaking life over his life. I'm speaking positivity over his life. Planting seeds of positivity so that they manifest. Okay? You don't want to be speaking this negative stuff into these children's lives while they're growing up. And if you've been a child who's grown up like that, to say you're nothing, you're stupid, you're a thief, you're this, you're that, you're too fast, you're too slow, or you're remedial, or you're not quick enough, or you're not smart enough, you would understand that saying words like that at an early age is damaging. And you know, when my child comes and finds me, or I find him when he's of age, I'm going to show him every interaction I've ever had to say that, look, I've asked for you. They denied me. Okay, and again, I don't take no for an answer. I'll keep asking. But here's what she said about you. In the language that she used to describe you. Yet this is the same person who claims that they love you and that you have a whole network. And that was the thing that was another thing that just made me so upset. She was just like, well, it's unfortunate because he has such a great network of support. And it's just like, woman, a person can have an army of support and still go through things. Okay, he's been through a lot by me, by all of us. Nobody's hands were clean in this situation. Understand that. You either. You think it makes him happy to not be able to talk to me and I'm asking for him? No, it does not. And he feels that because he knows I'm present. He feels my spirit. I feel his. So, and that just got me so heated because it's just like, what do you think millionaires and billionaires, some millionaires and billionaires, that they just don't have problems? You think just because a person has a great network that makes them invisible from being human and going through things, going through emotions? Some millionaires and billionaires get divorced. Some millionaires and billionaires create well, I was about to say something. What was it? Take their own lives. Some millionaires and billionaires take other people's lives. So let's not do that. Because if you're a woman of empathy, but then again, you have no skin in the game. You didn't give birth to him. So you wouldn't understand. You would not understand. Because if you had given birth to him, you would know, I don't care what this child does, I'll be there. I may not be happy with the decision made or the choice made, but I'm going to be there. Always and forever be there for my child. And that's the kind of talk that you get. Now, not every adoptive family is like that, but for my situation, it's like that. And boy, I was just so mad. Not mad, I was heated. Some more stuff was said, but you know what? What I did? Spoke life over my child's life. He gonna be fine. His healing process is already started. And no matter what goes on, he has us as support. Always will. Always has. And like I said, your hands are not clean either. If you want to be real about it, let's talk. Your hands aren't clean either. Nobody got away in this situation unscathed. He's been through a lot from everybody. So we need to take our time with him. Be patient and understand this has affected him. So these are just some symptoms that we're seeing, if that was true. So it's upsetting for me. But this is what I had to move through. And some people may think I deserve it. Some people in my family may think I deserve it, you know. And I haven't been talked about worse than a dog, worse than dirt. So, I mean, I don't have my first child. That in itself is traumatic. So words do hurt, yes, but there's not much else to say to make me feel more guilty. I'm hard on myself. So for somebody else to come in and chime in, okay, you keep on. He who judges will be judged to the same measure. And I don't look at other people's situations. I do my best not to judge. So my advice to you, really think about what you're doing. I'm going to do some more videos like this. I even want to start like a consultation about adoption, and to just really break down this process, you know, because I feel like it's not explained enough. And this kind of trauma has been life-changing. But what we want to do is, okay, the action is done. How do we get better? How do we move forward to be better? How do we make better decisions and make better choices? How do we make it better? It doesn't have to stay in trauma. There is a way to get better. And to always have that in your mind to say, what can I do? It's always something to be done better. So just think about that. Really think about that. It's not It's not fun and games. And it will cost you something when choosing to adopt out your child. And the thing is, before even choosing adoption, you should really think, do I really want to go through life without my baby, without my child? Because like I said, you may be just thinking, okay, I just want them to have a better life for the moment and then I can go and get them back. No, every state does not allow that. And that's an uphill battle.